In today's lesson, we're going to be learning how to find the volume of a rectangular prism. Now remember, to find the volume of a shape, a three-dimensional shape, we are going to take the area of the base and multiply it by the height. So first we want to identify what shape is our base. And since we're doing rectangular prisms, today will be quite simple because all of our bases are going to be rectangles, and we know that the area of a rectangle or a square is length times width. And so the formula for finding the volume of a rectangular prism is simply the length times the width times the height. Now remember, when we're talking about a three-dimensional shape and we're including units of measurement like feet, meters, inches, we always want to include that in our answer. And when we leave our answer, let's say it's inches, we're measuring with inches, okay, our answer is going to be cubed, which is that little tiny 3. It's a three-dimensional shape, and so it would be inches cubed. We want to include those units of measurement in our answers. So today we're going to do a few problems together, and then make sure you stick around till the end for our bonus question, and let's go ahead and get into it. So we're finding volume, and we're going to label the sides and find the volume of each rectangular prism. So we know, we just talked about the formula for volume is area of the base times the height. And an uppercase B means you're finding the area of whatever the shape is for your base. And the base is the bottom. So what I'm shading in here in black is my base of this three-dimensional shape, and we can see very plainly that it is a rectangle. And we do length times width to find a rectangle. So for the volume of a rectangular prism, we're going to do the length times the width, and then we'll multiply it by the height. And so I'm going to plug in my values. I have 3/4 for my length, and then my width is 2. And the way that we multiply a fraction times a whole number is you can just rewrite your whole number as a fraction. 2 divided by 1 is 2, so I'm not changing its value. And then we would just multiply top times top, bottom times bottom. Now before I do that, I like to cross simplify, which means I want to look for the GCF. Do they have a common factor or a number I can divide both of them by evenly? And they are both can be evenly divided by 2. Okay, if I divided both of those by 2, this would become a 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I would now be doing 3/2 times 1 over 1, which is 1. And we know anything times 1 equals itself. So now I just have 3/2 times the height, and we said our height is 8. So 3/2 times 8. Same thing, I'm going to write it as a fraction, and I'm going to look to simplify. 8 and 2 are both divisible by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I'm kind of running out of space, so I'll just do it right here. We have 3 over 1 times 4 over 1 gives us 12 over 1, or 12. And our units are inches, okay? We're talking about inches, and this is a three-dimensional shape. Length, width, and height. And so that's why it's inches cubed. So you want to make sure you include your units of measurement. Okay, and since we're talking about volume, it's inches cubed. So the answer to number 1 is 12 inches cubed. Let's go ahead and look at number 2. And so we have the length is 6 feet, the width is 5/8 of a foot, and then we have the height is 8. So we're going to do the area of the base, which is going to be length times width. So we're going to do 6 times 5/8. Okay, and again, to multiply a fraction by a whole number, I'm just going to convert my whole number into fraction form, which is so easy. We just put it over 1, and then we can multiply top times top, bottom times bottom. Now I am going to look across before I simplify. So at 6 and 8, I can see that they're both divisible by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now I'm doing 3 over 1 times 5 over 4. So 3 times 5 is 15. And then 1 times 4 gives me 4. Okay, and I double check. My factors of 15 are 3 and 5. And my factors of 4 are 2 and 2. So besides 1, there's nothing else I can simplify by. And now we can multiply by our height times 8. Okay, and I'm going to do 8 over 1. Same thing again, I'm going to look across to see if I can simplify. And for a common factor, remember we're dividing when we find a common factor. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So the common factor was 4. I don't know if I said that. Okay, so then we have 15 over 1 times 2 over 1. They're both over 1, so those will just simplify. 15 times 2 gives us 30, or 30 over 1 is 30. And then our units of measurement are feet, and we have length, width, and height. It's three-dimensional, so it's feet cubed. So the answer to number 2 is 30 feet cubed. Let's go ahead and have you try it. Number 4, the length is 4 meters, the width is 3 meters, and your height is 1/3 of a meter. Go ahead and leave your answer in the comments below. Don't forget your units of measurement. Today we learned how to find the volume of a rectangular prism, and if you want to spend a little more time on this topic, I've linked a full-length lesson below where we get into some more practice problems, we talk about vocabulary, we do some word problems, so go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Thanks for learning with me today, and we'll see you on the next lesson.